With the new Fortnite season just dropping, which actually it dropped the other day, and yes, I'm already level 54, sadly, but the Fortnite season did just drop, and with the new Fortnite season comes a lot of new bugs, more FPS drops, and just overall more problems. So today we're going to cover how to get the best input delay and best FPS in the new OG season. So let's get right into it. So we loaded into my Fortnite map, and real quick, before we start the video, I want to quickly talk about what actually causes delay. Now, real quick, what delay is basically like how fast something happens. So while I'm building, everything like that, basically how fast something confirms or how fast, something edits is all based on your input delay as well as your ping. But, we'll talk more on the ping part later, but your input delay, which is huge. And there's one main thing that actually causes input delay, and in order to see that, you actually have to open up your task manager, go to performance, make sure you're on CPU, and see how many processes you have running in the background. Now, this will also take a hit on your FPS, so make sure you listen to this part. Having a lot of processes can be very bad, but also sometimes isn't really that bad, and I'll explain that real quick. Having 150 processes is, actually pretty decent. I know people that have had well over 200 complaining about delay, and that's probably why, right? Having the more processes, which is actually just, a word for things you have open in the background, right? 153 processes is 150 things running in the background, right? As we speak, 150 things are running. As I'll show you, if I close Discord, quit Discord, right? This is going to drop to 147, right? Close Epic Games Launcher, it's going to drop to 145, and so on. The more I close, the more it drops, right? So the more you have closed, the less delay you'll have, the less hit on your FPS you'll have. But you got to keep in mind, you don't want this number to be like 20 or 60 because that can cause more problems in your computer than you're actually realizing. A lot of people don't know, but they'll end up closing something that they actually need, and it's actually vital for the computer to run at its best performance. So keep in mind, only turn off things that you know what you're turning off, and don't go overboard because it could cause your PC to blue screen and everything like that. But, if that ever does happen, just restart your PC and everything will be right back to normal. Now that we talked about what actually causes input delay and bad FPS, let's go ahead and look on a few fixes for it. But before we talk about a few fixes, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, VoiceWave. VoiceWave is an app that you can install to sound like Peter Griffin or Peter Parker, which is Spider-Man, and many, many other voices. There's over 100 plus voices you can choose from on this app, including soundboards that you can use to, troll your friends with clapping, applauses, alerts, and many other things, including sensitive beeps, which is funny. If you're a streamer like I am, well, there's a lot you could do with this, right? On top of that, sounding like somebody different is always fun to troll your friends. They've actually just added some Halloween themed ones and, some characters from some of your favorite games, but we'll talk more on this app a little bit later on. Back into the game, we're actually going to talk about first in-game Fortnite settings because it is a new season, so we do need to cover these in every new season's video, right? So we're going to start from here. We're going to scroll down, and we actually have everything that we had from the last season, which would just be full screen. You always want to be on full screen. It causes the best FPS and lowest delay on full screen, not windowed full screen and not windowed. Make sure you know that. Even if you play stretch rights, you want it on 1920 by 1080. Even if you play stretch eyes, right? Which, I'll explain later. VSync always off. Nobody likes VSync when it comes to games. VSync is something you use if you play something like Forza or any game that's like, not really like, I don't know, something that's more like graphical that looks nice. A really like nice looking game that's slow paced, something like that. Because VSync is just overall going to cause input delay. So something like Fortnite or COD or anything along the lines of that, you don't want VSync. Next, we have frame rate. Cap this one above your monitor's refresh rate. My monitor is a 240 hertz. Therefore, I play 240. But, I keep it on 360 just to help with FPS stutters. Now, if you're having FPS stutters, capping this one below or one above can always help as well, even if you are on a 240 hertz monitor, right? I cap mine one above, all right? Therefore, I cap it at 360. Rendering mode is on performance. You want to play performance no matter what GPU you have, no matter what computer you are on. Performance mode will be the best for performance, right? That's kind of why it's called performance mode and not performance mode for NVIDIA only, right? So make sure you guys understand, if you watch a different YouTube video that says performance mode is not good for certain graphics cards, it's not true. I hate to be that guy, but it's not true because, Fortnite doesn't even necessarily run off your GPU that much, right? So, they're just... So they're just lying to you, right? Keep that in mind. Performance mode is always going to be the best, right? Brightness, whatever you want. That's really preference. It's not going to cook your FPS or make it better. If you're on 10 brightness or 100 brightness or 2000 brightness, it does not matter. Same with colorblind mode, doesn't matter. Same with this thing, 3D resolution. Now, I want to quickly talk about this. The lower it goes, the worse it's going to look, but the better your computer will run, right? Having it on 0%, by the way, the game can't render 0. So it on 0 looks exactly like it is on 100%, and it does not cause better input delay. This does nothing for you, right? See, if I put it on 1%, my game's going to look like I'm playing on a potato. That's actually cooked. Anyways, let's put this back to, I would say 70% is probably the lowest I would go while playing the game for it to still look playable. Now, this does a crazy hit on your input delay. It makes it actually feel really nice while building. And on top of that, for some reason, I feel like I can lock on a little bit better. Not aimbot cheating lock on, but like if I'm like playing the game, I don't know. It feels like I could just see people better on a lower perform or resolution. I don't know what it is, but I do keep mine at 100% because I'm just like that. Anyways, moving on, we have every single graphical setting you can have put on the lowest you can put it on, and down here disabled, right? Show FPS on, because I do like seeing my FPS, and that's not going to help. That's not going to help with improving or decreasing FPS anyway. So yeah. Volumes is up to you, but actually sound quality has been known to give you less delay on low, right? I don't know why, but it does, so just put it on low, right? Other than that, nothing here really helps. The only other real setting that's going to help you with anything is actually going to be in the third tab at the very bottom, sleep mode and energy saving. Make sure you have all of these off. You do not want energy savers on at all. This will take a huge, and I mean humongous, like ginormous hit into your input delay. Like, I promise you will feel the difference. And on top of that, it also cooks your FPS a tad, so definitely don't want that. Anyways, moving on. HUD scale. Now, the bigger things are on your screen, obviously, the more is going to be there. So having it lower, yeah, it can help, but it's not going to help much. I recommend, like, the lowest I would go for a HUD is 60%. 80% is good as well. Moving on. We actually have something, I want to quickly talk about something that a lot of people think actually helps with input delay. Ignore controller input and lock input method as mouse either being on or off. So as a keyboard and mouse player, I've tried it with both. Having them both off and having them both on feels the exact same. I'm going to quickly cover that because I've had people come to me and ask, right? And that is it for Fortnite settings. So if you have those settings set just like that, your game should look just like mine. And well, I wouldn't say run like mine yet, but it should look just like this, right? And that is the best Fortnite settings you can have for any computer at all. Next, we're on the desktop. We actually have Fortnite closed, and we're going to talk about a little bit of things that you can do to actually increase your computer's performance before we move on to some of the bigger stuff. Now, we're actually going to start with, because it's the quickest thing to talk about, is ping. Now, the screen's going black for absolutely no reason. Anyways, here we go. We're going to open up Gear Up Booster. Now, I want to quickly talk about what this app does and a few things that they have changed, right? So Gear Up Booster is actually an app like every other ping app you've probably heard of. They all do the exact same thing. They boost your ping with their own servers, right? So you can boost absolutely any game you would like. And I mean anything, all the way up to PlayStation, Xbox, even Switch games you can boost, right? And, obviously having a popular tab, they even have Black Ops 6 and Fortnite and literally anything you can think of you can boost on here. So highly recommend this. Also, all the games are very easy to find and all you do is click boost. Now, also, you got to keep in mind that everything is server based. Now, a lot of you guys don't understand. You'll just get an app, launch it, try to boost the game, and it actually doesn't increase your ping or, decrease whatever it is you're going for. And that is because you might not have the right server set. So make sure you choose the right server. Now, I know a lot of you guys watching this actually play Fortnite. So if you're a competitive player in a Central or Auto, if you like, or East, if you're just rank grinding on East, whatever it is you play, make sure you pick the right server and you will be good to go. Now, this app works completely for free. And if you'd like to try it, the link is in the description. You can download it, try it for free with the link in the description. Now, keep in mind that just like every other app they're all also still location based a little bit. You can't live in the United Kingdom and try to connect to NA Central servers with this app and expect to get 0 ping. That's just not how it works. You still need to be relatively close to a server in order to get the best optimal ping, right? But as me living in Florida, I could play Fortnite, which in Florida has a bad ping, right? Florida's like normal ping is around 20 to 30 on no matter what server they play. Other than West, it's higher. With this app, I can get around 5 in creative to around 20, 15, 10 in game. So it definitely works for me. So highly recommend trying this out. Link in the description, like I said before. Actually going to move on to a few computer settings that you can change in Windows that actually help your PC run a little bit better on startup. And with startup, we're actually going to go to settings. Okay, not services, settings. And we're going to go to start. Oh, I just can't type. Startup apps. Now, what startup apps does is basically when your computer turns on, everything that launches as your PC launches, you'll see right here. So make sure you have everything off except for what you need. So my mouse, my keyboard, and mouse X, which actually gives me less mouse input delay. So make sure you have all of these, turned off except for what you need. I mean everything. Make sure it's all turned off. This will help out actually quite a bit on startup. You might even notice a difference if you have a bunch of these on. So make sure you have that turned off and set to how you want it. Next, we're actually going to go to system, display, graphics. Oh yeah, I don't know. I just went back. Graphics. And then right here, you should find Fortnite. You want to go to options and you want to set this to high performance. This means the little bit of the GPU that it is using will actually be working a lot better for Fortnite. It will actually optimize your game to run better off your GPU on Fortnite. So you definitely want to do that. That works really good. And then in here, hardware accelerated GPU scheduling optimized for Windows games is actually only good if your game is like not in full screen. So it's all right. You can use it. Having this off and having it on won't really affect much other than windowed games. So if you do play Fortnite in windowed mode, there you go. This will help you a little bit having this on. Next, we're actually going to go to gaming and we're going to go to game bar. Controller turns on game bar. Go ahead, turn off. It's just a random setting. Game mode, make sure you have game mode turned on. Optimizes your PC by tuning. By turning things off in the background. I just cannot read today. I don't know what's up with me. Anyways, that is it for computer settings. We're going to move on to some of the bigger things. Before we move on to some of the bigger things, I want to quickly talk about a little bit more about today's sponsor. Quickly talk more about VoiceWave. Now, I want to quickly show you what it actually sounds like to be Peter Griffin.
So this is what Peter Griffin sounds like through VoiceWave, and I actually think it sounds pretty similar to the actual voice. Now, keep in mind, I have not changed the pitch or the volume, and also it is AI, so it does have to adjust to everybody's voice, and it will sound different depending on your voice.
Now, I actually have I wouldn't really say deep, but I have on the deeper side of voices, and a lot of voice changers don't actually work with me, but this one does, which is why I think it's probably one of the faster growing voice changers because it works really well no matter who you are, right? Even some of the female voices actually sound very good with my voice.
Is the female voice, this is what it sounds like. You can always mess with the pitch or the volume to change it to how you would like it to sound, but yeah, this is pretty much the female voice sounds like with my voice.
So highly recommend trying this out. The link will be in the description as well as pinned in the comments. And go ahead and let me know what you guys think of the voice changer in the comment section. One more thing I'd like to quickly talk about is actually in my Discord and underneath YouTube stuff, which I'll show my Discord later. I also said I didn't talk about this. I actually forgot to add this part into the YouTube video, but there is something in this tweet command that is in my Discord, which is where you'll be able to get it from because I don't want the description being all cluttered up. Right click this down here, go to terminal admin or PowerShell, whichever one yours says, and click yes. And then you're going to go ahead and apply this in there. So click enter, let it load. If it's loaded for you before, it'll load pretty quick, but other people it might take a few seconds. Then go to tweaks, go to standard. And you'll know standard is checked off by everything being checked off, and actually uncheck everything. We're actually not going to run any actual tweaks from here because I have an app that didn't mean to full screen, but whatever. I have an app that we're going to talk about later that actually helps us with all of that, and it's a little bit better of an app because this is free. The other one is free also, but you'll see. Anyways, now we're gonna look at this right side. Now we're gonna turn off a few things here, which just follow basically what I do, right? So sticky keys needs to be off, right? Now if you have mouse acceleration checked on, make sure you uncheck it as well. Dark theme for Windows, go ahead turn on if you like dark theme. Bing search and start menu right here, you do not want on. Number lock on startup, you do not want on, and pretty much everything else I have here that is not on, don't have on. Now you can click run tweaks if you like, but these also automatically apply as well. But just to be safe, go ahead and click run tweaks. And if it says this, basically it means everything is unchecked and you're good to go. There's actually no tweaks to be performed, but just in case, right? So that is good. These automatically apply. These ones on the left do not, but we're actually not talking about these settings on the left here. We're actually going to close this and we're going to go ahead and continue talking about what I was just about to talk about. Now that we've talked about all of that, I actually want to talk about Elite PC Optimizer. The link to this will be in the description. We're going to quickly talk about this a little bit. I've talked about it a few other times in some other YouTube videos, and there's actually good reason for that. Now, this app is actually insane, and I want to quickly say I am not sponsored, and no, I'm not paid, not even a penny by these guys to promote this. I genuinely like this a lot. It's very convenient, and there's a free version to it as well. So I want to quickly talk about that. And the free version is actually good. And if you see results with the free version, I mean, you're guaranteed to see results with the paid version. So let's quickly talk about this. Before you do anything, click system backup, create a backup. This is just creating a restore point. That's exactly what it is. It's just called system backups. Create a backup before you do anything. Next, we're going to move on to tweaks. Now, everything I have turned on, you will turn on yourself. And if there's anything you shouldn't have on, I'll explain as we go through this. Starting with performance, it will flash a little bit when you have your PC, when you have it open. So, I mean, it just is what it is. Just deal with it for a little bit. Performance, you're going to turn on everything except for anything that says PC is or feature breaking like this. Reduce process count, feature breaking, don't turn on, right? And when you do this, I'll just quickly show you. There's a purple bar at the bottom, right? When this finishes going up, that means it's fully applied, right? So if you do this, and then let's say you click on processor, this setting that's not finished loading will not be applied, right? So make sure you let all the little purple bars finish before you apply it. Now make sure you apply all of these settings. Every single one has a little description, so you can read that if you don't know what the setting is, but we're gonna speed run this because yeah, I mean, there's a lot of settings to go through. Make sure you turn on everything, and anything that says pro is for the paid version, but you can see a lot of these do not have pro on them. Like there's quite a few in here that don't, and it works very, very good, even the free version, right? Next, we're going to move on to processor. Make sure you have everything on for processor as well. Now, there's quite a few free ones in here as well. Matter of fact, the first like 4 or 8 are all free. So, and there's even more down here. The ones that say pro are obviously paid. And paid meaning it's only $20 and it's a one-time payment. You only gotta pay for it one time. So that works very well. All right. Latency, make sure you have all of these on. Latency is basically just input delay, so definitely good. And there's quite a few free ones in here. I think it's about half and half. I think it's the same amount of free ones as there is paid ones. Next, we'll go to GPU. Only do what your GPU is. I have an NVIDIA graphics card, like most of you guys will have as well. Make sure you have only NVIDIA checked off. Now, there is AMD, but I know a lot of you guys don't use AMD. Then there's Intel, which is like integrated graphics. So make sure you just use this right here. Right now, moving on. We're actually done. Now that is it. It is bugged. I was on GPU, but it still shows latency. But yeah, that is it. Network settings I don't use because I use Garrett Booster, and I haven't actually tried any of these, so I'm not going to recommend them to you guys. You could try them if you'd like, but I definitely just use Garrett Booster over that. Next, there is a cleaner. If you want to do this, you can clean everything. I've already cleaned my PC, but cleaning isn't something you have to do every single day. I recommend cleaning out your PC at least once a month to once every 2 weeks. That's definitely a good thing to do. Now, this app, like I said before, is very, very useful, and I'm not paid nothing from them. They don't pay me at all. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. This is not a sponsor. All right, just want to quickly let y'all know, because a lot of you guys come at me talking about I'm only promoting it because it's a sponsor. No, this works, and it works good, right? And like I said, if you didn't catch it throughout the middle of me showing all these settings, it is a one-time payment for the pro version, and it's only $20. So make sure you check them out. The link for this is in the description. Their Discord and everything's in there, so make sure you try this out. Next, we're actually going to move on in my Discord, which is, another thing in the description of today's video. In my Discord, I actually want to quickly show you okay, don't mind this. Bro said rate my fit. My friend is playing Dress to Impress. I don't know, okay? I really don't. Anyways, we have 5,614 members growing every single day. I appreciate absolutely every single one of y'all. And speaking of members and stuff like that, if we could hit 7,000 subs with this video, it would actually mean the world to me. Anyways, moving on. In here, we got something called YouTube stuff. In here, we have an entire Sweet Pack that has a bunch of different delay settings that we didn't talk about in today's video. On top of that, a power plan that you can apply. And we have everything about timer res, filter keys, a tweak command, a free command in order to optimize your computer, which we also didn't talk about. We have a app for low ping, and we have my YouTube channel, as well as a business email if you like to contact me through a business email, right? And Xmouse. a lot of you guys might have saw that I actually have Xmouse. Here's a tutorial for it right here of the little setup and install. So last thing I like to quickly talk about, which is actually one of the biggest things that'll actually give you one of the like biggest free things you could do, that is that'll actually give you the biggest increase in FPS and input delay, is actually enabling something called XMP. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm gonna talk about this quick. XMP is something you can enable in your BIOS that actually makes your RAM run at its actual speed, because when you first get your PC or first plug in new RAM, I mean, most of the time it doesn't run at its actual speed. It actually cuts it in half for absolutely no dang reason. Don't know why it does that, but it does it. It will cut it in half sometimes, and you'll actually have to go through and enable it so your PC is actually running at its right speeds, which is really freaking annoying. I don't know why the hell they do that shit, but it just is what it is. Anyways, make sure you enable that. It's different for everybody how you get into your BIOS, but basically you restart your PC, and for me, I just spam like F10, right, as my PC is rebooting back up. And it'll boot me into my BIOS. I go down to XMP profile and I enable XMP profile, whichever one it is. Yours might say extreme memory profiling or extreme memory profile or XMP. You know, they all go, you know, roughly the same thing, right? So make sure you enable that. That is one of the bigger things you can enable in a PC, but that is it. Anyways, that is it for today's video. If you did like the video, make sure you like, subscribe, share it to a friend that needs help with their FPS or input delay, whatever it is for them. And if you'd like to see more videos just like this, click on the videos right here on screen, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.